Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toffee Bluecast. Sorry we are late. StreamYard, which we do the YouTube on, is having a bit of a technical meltdown tonight where they've emailed to say things could go wrong on the channel. On the big night of the pre-match, Crystal Palace versus Everton. So if there is little twitches and stuff like that, it's YouTube's fault, not ours. But we will still go through this and we'll try and give you a cracking listen as we always do. To anyone new on this, I'll say it at the start. If you see this on Twitter now, it comes up on the Toffee Bluecast Twitter. If you see it on Twitter, hit that link, come over, and we can read your comments. And that's the plan of Toffee Bluecast, to bring more Everton fans, crack it open, more Everton fans together. And I will say at the start, because I always forget, hit the like button if you like it, and subscribe as well, because we're on 448. We want to get to 450, so we need 2 subscribers by the end of tonight.
450 over the weekend. 450 over the weekend would be nice, wouldn't it?
We can do it. We'll pick up. It's going up slowly on the subscribers. We've got loads of regulars in the comments. Let's have a look who we got in the comments tonight. We are playing tomorrow. Here we go. Paul Caswell is in the Toffee Bluecast building.
Cass.
Everything Everton.
Like you like. Very good.
Sonny Wrigley.
Sonny's in. Emma's here somewhere as well, I think. Luz is in.
Luz is in the building. Eugene. Love him. Get involved. They'll be here. The Toffee Bluecasters will be here. And more. Get on the channel. More. We have a system. What we're going to do tonight, we do put a little bit of effort into this channel. And we try and give you a good format before the game. So what we will do is we start off by looking at Crystal Palace's team. We'll look at the form. So we'll look at the last 5 games of Crystal Palace, the last 5 games of Everton. This channel don't mess about. Then we'll look at Crystal Palace, the team they played last. Then we'll look at Everton's, the team they played last. And then we'll do lineup predictions and score predictions. So it's all fun. And we want you to get involved in the comments. A lot of the regulars will know the format. So whatever we're talking about, we want you to say something in the comments so we can chuck it on and interact with you. And the same with the we need your lineup predictions and we need a score prediction at the end. So stay with us till the end and we'll go through this nice and smoothly. Paul, how are you feeling for this game? I feel like we've had about 3 weeks off, but it's only been a week.
I know, it feels ages. It feels absolutely ages, doesn't it? And we were kind of a little bit disappointed at the end of the Brighton game, but we were kind of reflective and sort of poetic about it, and the fact that we thought we deserved more, but didn't quite get it. So hopefully, we put in a strong performance in tomorrow and actually come away with some points. That'd be really good, to be honest.
Yeah, you feel like you want to get back what you deserved last game, don't you? And you want to put a win on the board from what you deserved last game. That's what I feel like as well. I feel like we deserved the win last game. We did everything right to get the win. And you want another game to get that win now. Now we've got Crystal Palace, as I say, they're at home. We're away this time. I feel like our away form is decent. I fancy us away games now. And perfect time for me to chuck something on the screen and give you Everton fans a bit of something to look at. So let's put it on the screen now. Here we go.
Positivity. Love it.
Yes. Save your lineups and save your score predictions. I know a lot jumped the gun early, but we do want them towards the end so we can make sure we get them on the screen. Otherwise, it will go up to the top of the comments and we might miss your lineup predictions and score predictions. So we need you to interact with us through this stuff when we're looking at both teams. And here we are. The Blues likes this stuff as well. You've got the last 5 Premier League games of Burnley that I've written up there, and you've got the last 5 Premier League games of Everton. I found it's interesting writing it up. I always think Crystal Palace ain't doing that well, but they're about on par with us at the minute, ain't they, on the sort of form?
Yeah, they played some of the top sides. I mean, the win away against Man U, cracking goal and all. So they were probably well chuffed with themselves about that. They probably would have been then disappointed to draw 0-0 against Forest in the next game, but absolutely got pummeled by Newcastle after that. So they're not exactly consistent. They're not high scoring by any means. I mean, what's that? 4 goals out of 5 games there. 2 of them came away at Burnley. And actually in the Burnley game, Burnley were the stronger side as well. Palace had 4 shots in all on target and scored 2 of them. So so they're not exactly prolific going forward. Don't have many chances. Saying that in the Spurs game, they were very much like us against Brighton. They had 24% possession against Spurs and had 13 shots overall and then 10 on target and managed to get a goal out of it. So, you know, they defend quite well, but they maybe lack going forward and being clinical in front of goal. So there's definitely opportunities for us, you know, all about the XG and that. So we could easily create chances as long as we put them away. We've got a good chance tomorrow.
No, it's interesting. You made some good points there, as you always do. You look at them and they only scored 1 to beat Man United, which is fair enough. A 1-0 is all you need. But we're looking at their threat attacking wise and their confidence in scoring. They didn't score none against Forest. Didn't score any against Newcastle and conceded 4. Only scored 1 against Spurs, and then went and scored 2 the last game, which you would say might have found a bit of form that Burnley game. But the way Burnley was against us, that doesn't scare me that much that they beat Burnley 2-0, because I feel that was a game we could have won 7 or 8-0 Burnley. And no disrespect to Burnley, but they wasn't that good against us, and I'm sure the Burnley fans, well, they did to me. They admit that themselves, that they ain't ready yet. They ain't. So we're about. I think not scared.
I watched the highlights of that earlier on today, Burnley Palace, just to sort of have a little think about tomorrow and stuff. And Burnley had lots of chances. They created lots of chances, but they just couldn't put any of them away. They weren't. I mean, there was some decent chances and plenty of half chances, but they didn't test the keeper into loads of amazing saves or anything. And Palace had, so I said before, Palace had about 3 shots on goal and scored 1 in the first half and then 1 in injury time at the very end. So Palace weren't any great shakes against Burnley and came away with a 2-0. So, you know, but defensively, they, apart from the Newcastle game, they generally tend to do quite well.
I seen a comment there. From what I listened to, Eze's out for me. Not Eze. Is it Eze? Not Eze's playing, but is Elise is out, yeah. So it's Elise that's out, which is good for us. Eze, very good player as well, but that Elise is normally quite dangerous against us. He is out. They have got a few that's out, but still got a very good team.
You've got the ones that are out, and we'll have a look at the sides in a sec. But Henderson, the keeper, he's out. Elise is out. Raksaki, don't know, he's out, and Tompkins is out, who normally gets a half a game or a game, so he's out as well. But that's all of them. There's no questionable ones for them. We're just missing Dele Alli and Gomez, and Coleman, as it says here, lacking match fitness. He played the under-21s, didn't he? Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman got to go. A few other players got to go in it as well.
So he's making his way. Yeah, he's making his way, but maybe too soon. And probably anyway, a couple of the other ones will be ahead of him at the moment. So we'll see what happens.
I'm just going to touch on the Everton form there before we move on to what we'll do then is we'll get the Crystal Palace last 11 that they played, and then we can talk more on them. But looking at us there, Luton, that was just a random game where everything just went wrong for us. Bournemouth, very good game, 3-0. Liverpool, we got scammed out of that game. I'm sorry, but we got cheated out of that. You can't call 10 against 11 proper game, so I'm not even looking at that. West Ham, we beat them. And then Brighton should have beat them, ended up drawing. Very unlucky.
And we had
good.
Yeah, and we had a Burnley. We had the win against Burnley as well in the cup in between the West Ham and Brighton games. So we're in fairly good health touch wood, at the moment. So hopefully that can continue. And yeah, we're maybe a little bit more confident at home as well. But we like our away form, don't we? We're in a good place, I think, currently
I
at the
feel
moment.
more. I don't know
Better than
what
it's
do you feel
been
like
anyway.
in the comments, people. What do you feel like in the comments? I feel more comfortable away than at home.
Yeah. I don't
I
know.
really do.
I'm quite even scale at the moment. I don't feel overawed about us being away or at home. So Palace is a decent game for us considering it's a away game. It's not too bad, I think, at the moment.
We're just starting to pick up at home, and the atmosphere's getting better at home. But I just feel away. They go away now and they do the business. I'm really confident I'm away, and I feel like the away fans are really good as well. When you go to the away games, it's always better than at home because everyone that goes away makes sure they have a good time, make sure they sing, and they just seem a lot better games, I think. So the away games, we seem to be doing really well and picking up. And Everton's good form started with the away games. I feel we picked up away before we picked up at home. And then now we've started to pick up at home. So this is the team that we're playing, people. This is the Crystal Palace team that they played last. One that will probably likely come up against. They might have a few changes in this. You've just mentioned Eze might be back in this team, but I don't think there'll be a lot of changes on this. What changes do you think there'll be, Paul? And in the comments as well, what changes do you think there'll be on this?
I don't think. Sort of looking at what they've done in previous games, they've not changed the side very much, to be honest. The side that they had, is this the one from Burnley?
Last game, I think, yeah. Unless I got it wrong. I
so,
think
so actually the lineup that they had, yeah, it's the same as it was for Spurs as well. Back four is the same. Lerma, Decore, Hughes. Yeah, you might see Hughes more of a sort of left-hand side alongside Lerma and Decore, and then Schlupp, who used to just play left back. I remember him just playing left back, but he's sort of playing left wing now. And obviously scored as well for Burnley in the last game. So Ayew is always around there, whether he's playing up front or slightly to the right. And Edouard up front. They don't change very much. I don't think they've got a massive squad. You know, they're probably size. Their squad is probably similar to ours in some respects. Looking at their substitutes last time, you know, Klein's in there, Rob Holding, who they got from Arsenal, he's with them now. Miteta's on the bench.
Do you think what the Blues have said here? Do you think it will be? Are you agreeing with him here? The Blues have just said, keep your comments coming, by the way, people. Want to get you involved. The Blues has just said he would imagine it would be Eze in whose position. They do play who's quite a lot. I remember who's from Derby because I used to watch Derby a bit, and I remember he was a big prospect when he was younger, but he was a big injury prone player. But since he's been at Crystal Palace, the last couple of seasons, he seems to be getting less injuries and playing more. He's a good player, that Hughes is. He's a decent player. I
think he's just one of their stalwarts, isn't he? Just someone who's always sort of in the side doing a decent job. I'm not sure whether Eze would. I've seen him more sort of coming in from the right hand side, so I don't know whether it would be a case of Ayew being the one to sort of drop to the bench for that, or Ayew up front and Eze on the right. But either way, you're going to have skillful lads who are going to be challenging Mykolenko and whoever's on that left hand side.
I've heard a lot of people say that their centre backs are really good, but I think Calvert-Lewin can do Anderson. I know the other lad. He's got to show up for England, or something like that. The other lad, he's quite decent. He's had an appearance for England, and he is good. A lot of Crystal Palace fans reckon he's one of the good centre backs in the Premier League. So yeah, he's decent. But Anderson, I feel like he's gettable. But I have read some things that says the Crystal Palace centre backs are going to be really hard to beat, and they're a really good partnership. What do you think on that?
I think they just defend well as a team. You know, it's a bit like when we played Brighton. We defended well as a team, and I think Palace defended fairly well against Spurs as well. So they're more than just sort of their individuals. They're a side, aren't they? And they're not like the most glamorous side.
Do you think Ward is the weak spot?
But, well, potentially, I suppose. I mean, he's not having the best. I mean, he scored an own goal for a start off against Spurs. And you'd maybe pick him out as being one of the weaker ones, but it's usually the right back or the left back, isn't it, who gets picked out? It's not usually someone who's sort of in the middle of the pitch. You have your strongest players in the middle of the pitch, don't you? So it's probably a little bit unfair. I mean, they give him a 7-1 there for a start off. I just think they work well as a back four. They always have. You know, their main thing has always been defence, and they build upon that. I don't think there's anything different in that, and certainly nothing different in the form and the scores that we saw. To be fair, I think it's more. I think it's more going to be about us. I think it's more about our team that we put out, and
Well, that's going to
and
be.
people
We'll
and
touch.
people that we might, well, people we may or may not have missing. You know,
That's what I was just
I
going to say.
mean,
We will touch on that now, and we'll give our lineups,
uh,
and we'll talk about who's missing when we get the Everton team up later on, and you'll give your lineups, and we'll talk about who's missing. We do a pre-match every game now. The Toffee Bluecast gives us a good little idea before every game. I would say this is a team that I look at now, and I don't want to curse it, but we can get at these. I'm not that Mitchell down the wing. I feel like one of our wingers could hurt him. Ward, as Emma said, I feel like one of our wingers could hurt Ward. If Calvert-Lewin puts himself on Anderson, I feel like he could have a bit of a ride there. Get Decore on the other lad. Centre of midfield, whether I don't know what players we're going to have. We'll talk about that. But if we have got a good centre midfield, Decore and Lerma, they don't. Decore always picks up yellow cards. They don't scare me. That centre of midfield is something that I'm looking at right now, and I'm thinking we could dominate that. I know whose will drop in, but for other teams that we've come up against, this looks like a team that we can get at. Their attackers are really good. You're going to have to quieten the attackers. A lot of Everton games where we played this Crystal Palace team, by the way, you'll probably remember that AU and Slurp or whoever it was, I think it was the striker that come on, Metella or something like that. He was grabbing Tarkowski around the neck, and it was a big kick off. And it's quite an aggressive game, this one is. And I think it'll be the same, this one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've got some players who've been right pains in the arse. I think IU's been one of those in the past.
Yes.
It's always tasty. As a friend of mine used to always say, yeah, be a tasty game. You know, there'll be a few feet put in, that's for certain. So as long as we can keep our heads a little bit, because with them being at home as well, we don't want to be on the end of another duff call for a dodgy red or anything else. I think I remember last season we were away at Palace and Holgate got sent off, didn't he? I remember us doing a game about Holgate getting sent off, I think. So we've got to be sensible not to sort of get into that completely and still play our game, because that's going to be important.
Well, yeah, especially if we're saying with a better team, you don't want to fall for the trap. I mean, Paul Caswell's just said there that he feels like Onana and Garner can dominate that. I'm hoping Onana's in it. We'll give our lineups in a minute. The Blues has just said Lerma and I'm saying his name right. Lerma and Decore are solid, but not much creativity at all. That's why they missed Eze. So that's interesting information.
Well, the two goals that the two lads who've scored there on the left hand side. The first one was from Palace against Burnley. The first one was that Burnley got caught on their left back, gave the ball away. Whoever it was, can't remember who it was. It might have been Ayew, or Edward. Drives in, plays it right across, and schlups there at the far post. You know, he's just run in and side-footed it in. And the Mitchell goal as well. Burnley tried to clear it from their corner flag on their left-hand side, but it went straight to a Palace player. Pass across. Mitchell's there to hit it first time, pass it into the goal. So it's not as if they had massive build-ups and everything else and they took Burnley apart. They were perhaps fortunate to get away with a 2-0 and a clean sheet. So there's spots there for us to take on. Like someone had said here, someone said something about Patterson as well having a game. I can't quite see the the message now. Someone said, "Oh, here we go." Eugene came on and said, "Playing Patterson against Crystal Palace, resting Ashley Young." I don't think there'd be many people who would argue with maybe resting Ashley Young, but Patterson might give their left-hand side something to think about. Maybe push their more attacking players on our left further back and cause them a problem instead.
It's going to be interesting on this lineup with Patterson. That is a big subject last game that made a lot of people's heads fall off. I know Jamie, who's always on the channel, wasn't happy. He wanted Patterson to start, and it frustrated him before the game even started that Patterson wasn't starting. I wanted Patterson to start, to be fair. Most of us did. We all did. But it was interesting to listen to Dyche in the interview say that the older players are just as fit as the young players. I can't remember exactly what he said, but the vibe that I got from Sean Dyche in the interview is that he's very trustworthy on the experience. And he spoke about that he wants his young to be as good as the old. So I don't know whether Ashley Young there he's going to get that spot again. We will talk about that, and we'll be interested to see who's got Ashley Young in or out. I know what you all think. I think Young will start. The Blues is kind of similar to me as well. I think it's going to be interesting on this. Let's get the Everton team up then. We're talking about Everton now. We've gone off Crystal Palace. So I respect that team, by the way. I think they've got some good players. They will, like Paul said for me, all work hard and make this a very hard game for us. But I do feel our players can rise above a few of their players and show a bit more ability in key positions. That's what could do us. But they will work hard. So if we don't turn up and work hard, we could be in a bit of trouble. But I think we'll be all right this. Let's get the Everton team up, people, that we played last game. Here we go. We're forever Everton. I'm right. So let's get to the latest news. Abdoulaye Doucouré has got a sickness bug and might not be available for this game. Amadou Onana has picked up a knock, but he was on the grass, so he might be available. We do not know. And last but not least, Gerard Branthwaite has picked up a knock. Doesn't surprise me with how much he's been carrying Everton on his back. But Gerard Branthwaite has also got a knock, which has literally made my brain fry. So Branthwaite was on the grass as well, people. So do not fear on this. But if Branthwaite isn't playing, we could see Keane. If Onana isn't playing, we could see Garner Gay, which doesn't worry me as much, but I feel like we lose a bit of power in the middle if you do replace Onana with Garner Gay. And I like the Onana and Garner combination. So there is a little bit of alarm bells in this. Bugs don't normally last that long. I think with a bug, you don't know, do you? It could be something where Sean Dyche keeps Doucouré off and puts Dan Juma there and says, Doucouré, stay away from the team because we don't want you to spread the bug. It could be that, couldn't it? Because if you get a bug going around the team, sounds stupid, but it can happen. If you get that bug going around the team and they're all sitting on the toilet with diarrhea just before kickoff, you could be in a bit of trouble. We might not even get 11 players out on the pitch if that happens. So we need to be careful with a bug around. So this is stuff to take into consideration before we talk on this. But that is the last lineup that we played, and that is the latest news, people, on Toffee Blue Cast.
Can I also just point out that these ratings are not the ratings given by Toffee Blue Cast. So 6.5 for Branthwaite, not our choice.
This is the ratings given by Black. And it's absolutely diabolical. But I like the players and the format that they give you in the formation, because the formation and the players' faces are right. But ignore the scores. I mean, the only score that I probably will give is probably Ashley Young 6.3, but all the rest was a lot higher. And they always give us shit scores because nobody likes Everton, by the way. So ignore the scores. Ignore the scores. What you feeling now then, looking at this now? What you worried about?
Not worried about anything, to be fair. I think this side as it is capable of getting a result away at Palace. Whether it would be my first choice.
You're not worried, like, let's just go to the main subject then, because I'm not worried if I love Decore, and he's our main player. I want him to play. But if he's not fit, I feel like someone can come into that position. There's loads of rotation. You could move McNeil number 10, and you could play Danjuma on the left. You could play Danjuma number 10. You could just keep it how it is and play Danjuma number 10.
Yeah.
You could move Garner Gay up and play Onana and James Garner, although I don't like Garner Gay high because I don't feel like he's that attacking. That Decore thing, if he's out, we can cover it. The Onana thing, if he's out, as we showed last game with Garner Gay, if he's on it like he was, we can cover it. Branthwaite injured. Can we cover it? That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
in the comments, so you're scared if Branthwaite's injured.
You'd have to. Well, we know what would happen. It would be Keane coming in, wouldn't it? That's basically what it would be.
And you don't know. Godfrey is rearing to go in the press.
Well, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he is. I'm sure I read something this week about a couple of teams looking at Godfrey and stuff like that, and I'm sure his agent would be banging the drum. Do you know what I mean? Because he's not getting a sniff at the moment. So yeah, he'll want to play, but it seems as though Dyche will put Keane in ahead of Godfrey. So Tarkowski and Keane if Branthwaite's not fit enough. But he might be, like you say, on the grass. Don't know. You don't know really, do we? Because they've not said anything definite.
I'm hoping Godfrey comes back to himself because this is his last chance to save his career at Everton. So if he comes back, I'm hoping he's coming back like Mikalenko to prove a point. But what scares me about Godfrey, right? If Godfrey comes in, might be getting a little bit of feedback on your thing, Paul. Just check it just in case. If Godfrey comes in, it leaves just Tarkowski to head the ball because Godfrey can't head the ball for me. I'm sorry, but he can't. When you play Branthwaite and Tarkowski, it's not all on Branthwaite. It's not all on Tarkowski because Tarkowski knows Branthwaite can head the ball as well, and he'll probably head it as much as him.
Yeah.
So I just feel when you put Godfrey in, it's down to Tarkowski to win every header because Godfrey doesn't win many headers. Is he that confident on the ball? Let's not beat around the bush. If you're replacing Branthwaite with Godfrey, you're not getting the same. You're just not because Godfrey won't touch Branthwaite's levels. I'm sorry, I love you, Godfrey, but he just won't because Branthwaite's composed on the ball. He's better at heading. I don't think Branthwaite's got a weakness, to be fair, where Godfrey looks like he has. So I am scared on that.
6.5. It might have a 6.5. I don't know what it is like. I don't know what it is. The thing is, Keane's the thing is between Keane and Godfrey is that Keane. I mean, all right, he's a magnet for calamity. Is basically what he is, and whether that be turning slower than the Titanic or sticking an arm out in a very weird, funny position. He's got a run of bad luck. However, he can do a standard, decent job, to be fair. And like you say, in the air, Keane would head her away far more than Godfrey would.
We're idiots, We're back in Keane again now.
But it is. It's, that's it. However, we would obviously, I mean, without a doubt, have Tarkowski and Branthwaite as the first two, if at all possible. And that's where it comes down to. So at the moment, unless we suddenly find out that Branthwaite is injured and won't play, and there's obviously going to be some games he won't play. But he's also on 4 yellow cards, isn't he?
This is crazy. Do you know what I would rather do? And you'll go mad at me for this. I would rather play Mikalenko left centre back in Branthwaite's position and move Young on the left and play Patterson than play Keane or Godfrey. And I'll get stick for that. I know I will, but I'd feel more. I'd feel more relaxed with Mikalenko at the side of Tarkowski because I feel Mikalenko's. Do you know what? I just don't trust Keane because he's full of mistakes, and Godfrey. I'm scared of what he's going to be. He hasn't been that good, has he? We've defended him all the way, but he just hasn't been that good. He's like the Blues has just said there. We've got 2 centre backs, Paul. We've got Tarkowski and Branthwaite, and I feel fantastic. I'm not that happy with the cover. If one comes in, I don't feel like they're going to match them. Do you? Do you in the comments?
Well, Cass agrees that Miko is left centre back. I just can't. I can't back that. I just can't back it.
He used to play. By the way, Mikolenko was a centre back before he was a left back, but he wasn't tall enough, so they moved him left back. Just a bit of interesting information. I know that's crazy, but do you know what? I would never play Mikolenko centre back. By the way, he's amazing left back, and that's the only place I want to play and why he's found himself. But this is what having bad centre backs as backup does to you sometimes. You shouldn't feel like you have to frigging. You should just have a centre back that's going to come in and you're confident in him and he's going to play. But I'm just not that confident in Keane. But a positive, I'll put a spin on it. Keane did score against Crystal Palace to keep us up. So it might be a team that is confident in playing if Michael Keane plays. But we're talking about all this. Branthwaite's going to be fit, isn't he?
Yeah, of course he is.
He's going to be fit.
You got to presume everyone's going to be fit unless we're told otherwise. And it was rumours more than anything. I don't think Deitch had said people were injured, or did he? I missed the press conference, to be fair. So tell me.
Yeah,
Deitch
did say that. He did say Branthwaite and Onana's got knocked, but it was on the grass, and he'll see what they're like after a training session. I wouldn't want this is where you go a little bit boomer here, though, because I really want Branthwaite to play, but I wouldn't want Branthwaite to play and be out for 4 games just by giving him 1 game off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'd rather look after my players, and I'm sure Sean Dyche will do that. He won't risk it. There's both teams, by the way, before we ask you for your lineups. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Like I say, we've got a good enough team there. The Blues said earlier on he feels like the core is pivotal and he wouldn't be happy if the core is out. Neither would I. I do feel it's good. Give Godfrey a go and see how he goes if Branthwaite's out. Well, you've got to try. The whole squad's going to get used this season. Branthwaite's not a machine. Although Tarkowski is, he plays every game and never misses one, doesn't he? He's got a record where he plays literally every game all season.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible. I'm not sure he'll survive suspensions and stuff, but he could get through it. Yeah, I mean, if Keane comes in, no doubt it'll be a Keane deflection for us where we'll win it. We'll win it off of Keane, like he hits his arse or something and goes in, or doesn't know anything about it whatsoever. You know, let's be positive about it. Let's think positively.
The thing is, like you say, I always end it positive, and I've gone towards Michael Keane did score against Crystal Palace and he can play well. But I won't just try and always hit the positive thing because I want to hit what people are feeling on these defenders that are back up and relate and get it off your chest and kind of move forward with it. But I do think to move forward, we, at some point, Tarkowski or Branthwaite are going to get injured. At some point they are. We've got a lot of games ahead of us, come thick and fast, especially over Christmas. You are going to see one come out. So you do need to keep Godfrey or Keane game standard. So when they come in, they've got to be on it, and you've still got to be a good team when they're in the squad. You can't turn your back on whoever's not in the 11, because if you do that, when they come in, they'll probably be shit. So we need to stick by all of our squad. It's about the whole squad, isn't it? So I am getting towards a bit positiver. I'm feeling better on that. Right. Let's do lineups then. Let's do lineups.
Let's predict our lineups.
I'll put this back on the screen just to give you an idea. We're for Everton. I'm getting ready for this. I'm excited, you know. I really am excited for this game. I've been waiting. Predict your lineups in the comments. We'll put it on the screen. Like and subscribe as well. Let's get some more toffees on the channel. Do you want to go first, Paul, or do you want me to go first?
No, I don't mind. I'll go first. No massive surprises. I'm just going to take it that they're all fit. And they'll do a job. we've got international break coming up as well, haven't we? So if it's a case of Branthwaite being like 70% fit, I'd still play him. Do you know what I mean?
You make a good point though. International break comes at a perfect time.
Get the game in, let him have a rest through international break, bring him back after that. I think we're well capable of doing that. So I'd go obviously Pickford in goal, Mikolenko left back. I'd go Patterson right back. I really do think he could stretch his legs in this one when we go forward. Get a few of them crosses in. I think that'd be good. Branthwaite and Tarkowski is middle two. If there's no reason to change it, then I wouldn't change it. I think the four that we've got there, the only change I'd make would be Onana in for Garner Gay, who did a decent job. Stopped the ball quite a lot of times against Brighton. Doesn't particularly start many attacks, so that's why Onana comes in for me. So Harrison, James Garner.
Let me just stop you there 2 seconds. Keep that in your head. Just on what you said, just because it's linked to the play you're talking about. It was interesting on the press conference. Sean Dyche was talking about Garner Gay. He's not a sit-in. He's a high up midfielder. He said he plays the ball. He's a presser. He says Garner Gay's got the experience, but he's not a sit-in midfielder. So I found that interesting that he doesn't see Garner Gay as the sitter.
I would question what a midfielder who plays higher up as having to have, and I would think passing would be key in that kind of area to sort of. I mean, I would have said if you said that about James Garner, then I'd maybe agree with him because I think James Garner can feed a pass through. I'm not sure Garner Gay can over more than 5 or 10 yards. So it's interesting what he says.
I think he thinks he's going to hunt. I think he thinks Garner Gay, like the Blues have just said there, Garner Gay's not a sitter. I think he thinks he turns the ball over and he's a free roamer, and you need somebody behind Garner Gay to that. This is the negative for me though, because if Dyche is thinking Garner Gay can go further up, then you end up with James Garner doing the Onana position, and I like to see James Garner higher up. So
well, I think they can both do that, can't they? And Arnhem can maybe do that as well as James Garner. It's interesting how he sees them. To be honest, does that mean then
what he said?
If it was James Garner, Onana, and Garner Gay, does that mean Garner Gay would be the higher of the three? That'd be something. I
think the way he probably sees it is if he plays the three now, it should be Onana sitting, which I think should always happen, and it should be Garner Gay and Decore playing the box to box. I think Garner Gay is kind of a box to box player. He's not a six. He ain't got the recovery.
He's a breakup player, isn't he? I see Garner Gay very much like Alan was. Do you know what I mean? He'll put some strong tackles in and break things up rather than create things. And if you break things up higher up the pitch, arguably, you can then create things quicker. I'm not sure he's the most creative player, but he could certainly put in a tackle and win a ball back. And if that's higher up the pitch, that's higher up the pitch. So, yeah, I can understand what he's saying. It's interesting how he feels about the three. Does that mean that if he's in there alongside James Garner, Decore's playing, Decore wouldn't be one who would be further back? Is he then saying it's going to be one sitting and then two further forward? Be interesting to hear his thoughts on that, to be fair.
It's mad because when you think back, I was thinking this, when Decore was his best player, he was, well, not his best player. When he was his best player, it's probably under freaking Rafa Benitez. But when Decore, I know, sick on the channel, when Decore, he was our best player because it was Decore, Allen and Gomez. And Decore had to do all the work for Allen because Allen didn't have the legs. And the same with Gomez as well. So I remember when we had Decore in the centre, I used to say he had to cover everybody when we had Decore in the centre. He used to have to help a right back. He used to have to cover over the left. And you felt like you had a good centre midfielder in Decore to cover all the pitch. But then Gomez and Allen wasn't good enough around him. It's crazy now that
Yeah.
it's changed that much that we've got Decore in the number 10 position now from having Decore as our best like midfielder in front of the defence that's going to save us, mopping stuff up, tackles and stuff like that, to being a player now that plays above the two players that would normally play in Decore's position. It's been a big transformation, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, one of the other reasons I'd like to see Onana playing tomorrow is because of their lad Decore in the middle. You know, if you're thinking Lerma and Decore, that's sort of their two sitting midfielders, or certainly ones that seem not to go as far forward usually, then I'd like a bit of physicality in there, and Onana would be one to go up against their Decore lad. I think that would be a fair shout. But if you did have Garner Gay and James Garner, I just feel that it would lose something. So if there's any way Onana can play, then
He would.
personally I think he should play.
Onana and Garner would eat them for breakfast. So let's carry on with your lineup. You've got Onana and Garner in the centre, so you're left with your wingers, your number 10 and your striker if you go in that sort of formation.
McNeil's a shoe-in for me. Decore, if at all possible, I'd have Decore there. If it wasn't because of illness, then I'd throw Danjuma and then Calvert-Lewin in front. That's the way I would work it, to be fair. There's options. Better if Decore starts, Danjuma to come on, try and make an impact. But very much that would be the lineup with Onana and Garner in the middle with Decore in front. You know, seems to work best anyway.
So that is Paul's lineup. And I think it will be the same as a lot. I'll give my lineup now and we'll read your lineups in the comments. So if you haven't got your lineup, get your lineup in and then we'll go on to score predictions and the Toffee Blue Cash Show finishes. Right. So I'm going to go for Mykolenko left back. I keep saying it. He's growing every game. He's about 7'8". He's growing that much. Right. I'm going to go for Branthwaite. I'm going to go for Tarkowski. Please God, Branthwaite be fit. If Branthwaite isn't fit, who do I choose over Keane and Godfrey? I just believe that Dyche will choose Keane. I just believe Dyche will choose Keane against Crystal Palace, especially. As a right back, I'm going for Patterson. Jamie will be happy to hear that. I'm going for Patterson. Like you lot say, it's a good game where Patterson can show his attacking stuff and get some good crosses in. I feel he'll pick Young, but I want Patterson. I do feel that he will pick Young. Why not give Patterson the start, though? Why not? Patterson did nothing to get dropped. Young's done a few things where you could say if he leaves him out, fair enough. So why not just let Patterson have his chance? If he's struggling, bring Ashley Young on. That's what you've got Young there for. He's the backup now, isn't he? That's what he's supposed to. He's not the first teamer. He's meant to be a squad player that's backup. So why not just play Patterson? If Patterson's struggling or he picks up a yellow card, put Young on. Same with Mykolenko. Young can go on that side. Have Young as the backup. I would personally do that. Give Patterson a chance because I just feel Sean Dyche, you're being a bit favourite. You're having favourites there. Do you know what I mean? Because Young has picked up a red card and he deflected an own goal, which was unlucky. But that's what he's done. Patterson hasn't done nothing since he's come back. He hasn't really done nothing wrong. So if he's done nothing wrong and you keep leaving him out, what's he got to do to be in the squad? So I think Patterson's worthy of having a chance. We don't know what goes on in the training ground. Young could... Do you know what I was thinking, though, Paul? The problem is, we all say about Ashley Young, he's probably amazing in training, you know. He's been playing football for, 30-something years. In training, he probably flicks it about. He's got his... Sean Dyche was talking in the interview about players, these more experienced players are above the younger ones with their football brain. They see things quicker. That's what Sean Dyche said.
That's what it is.
Yeah, Sean Dyche said that in the press. And that was interesting to hear as well, if you didn't hear that in the press. Sean Dyche said that the difference is these experienced players, I'm trying to get them to learn the young players that they need to see things quicker. He says they've got things, but they're not seeing things as fast as they should. And I think that is the reason that he's picking Young, because Young in training is probably levels above Patterson. He just probably is, because he's been in the game a long time. It's like if you've been doing a job for 10 years and someone just comes in, you're going to make them look absolutely shit. And it's going to take you a while to have their experience in football. That's the only reason that I can see why Young has got the go ahead of him. But I still want to see Patterson. So that's so it's Patterson, Tarkowski, Branthwaite, Mikolenko. I am going to go Harrison on the right wing. I do think Harrison wasn't match fit yet, and he still needs his games under his belt. Hopefully, he'll be better than what he was last game because we ain't seeing the best Jack Harrison. McNeil, I'm going for Onana, James Garner, Doucouré, and Calvert-Lewin. So it's same team as yours, isn't it?
Pretty much. I've just gone on to the Toffee app just to have another look at unavailable players because it did say on another one that it was Andre Gomez, Dele Alli. Both of those were unavailable, and Coleman was sort of just lacking match fitness. It says Onana calf injury here, and I don't know how much weight to put behind it, to be fair. So maybe there's more likely that Onana won't.
That is what his knock is, and he's back on the grass. So Onana's was a calf injury. That's the knock.
Right. Okay. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
He said in the press that Onana's been battling through it and is lucky that he's played all the games that he has. So it's something that he's playing with. I don't like that, risking it like that. I'd rather see Onana, but calf injury is very dangerous. And I love to see Onana, but I'm not desperate to see him to the extent where I would injure him heavily and not see him for a long time because I'd rather just leave him out 1-2 games than see him out for about 5 or 6 games with a big injury just for overplaying him with Onana. We got the same team. Should we get on the teams in the comments then, Paul? Have you got them or do you want me to put them on?
Yeah, no, I'll do it. So yeah, Paul Cass, Patterson, Mikolenko the other side, Tarky and Branthwaite. Jack Harrison right hand side, presume. With McNeil on the left hand side with James Garner, Onana, and Danjuma in front, just behind DCL, I would imagine. So I think it's interesting now, isn't it? Even though we've got quite a few options, we feel as though we know what our strongest side is, and we've got a better idea of what our strongest side is. And it seems that a lot of people are starting to agree with each other, mainly, certainly with the spine of the side, anyway. Everton, Everton, evening. Pickford, Mikolenko, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Young at right back, McMessy. With Harrison on the other side, and imagine Onana, Garner, DCL, and the King Beto.
So
going 4 across the middle with the 2 up front.
Seen a few
Never
shouts
know,
on this
might
2 up
happen.
front. They're saying if you ain't got the midfielders, just playing 2 up front and go for it. You never know on that.
I know.
Very attacking everything.
You know what? I would love to see Beto and DCL against these 2 centre backs. Do you know what I mean? Like, put the pressure on.
Oh yeah, because we talked
if you think your middle could hold it,
one's strong.
Be awesome. That'd be really good. I wouldn't mind watching that, to be fair. Blues, always very formidable. JP in goal, Patterson right back, Miko left back, Tarky and Branthwaite. Jack on the right, McNeil on the left, James Garner and Onana in the middle, Doucouré behind DCL. I think we agree on that one.
Me and the Blues and Paul are on the same wavelength. That's what you just said, though. We are all picking very similar teams, and that's a better sign. The only thing we're arguing about is the right back, really. But other than that, we're seeing the same best 11 now, which is good. Well, Dyche is starting to find something.
Emma says the same. Patterson right, Miko left, Tarks, Branthwaite, Harrison, Garner, Onana, McNeil, Dukes, DCL. It's all going to be about on who's fit, but we know what we would want anyway. So that's good. Let's see. I think that's all of the ones that we've got. If there's anyone else who have missed by any chance, then feel free to drop it in and we'll show it.
Yeah, right. So that's all of your lineups. Interesting. We're all similar. We are all similar. I wouldn't mind seeing Beto and Calvert-Lewin. I wouldn't, but I do think, like the Blues said, I think when you play Doucouré, it's a lot more safer for us because Decore, like I just touched on earlier on, was one of our best centre midfielders when we had Allen and Gomez. And I think
Yeah.
when you sit back into all those spaces and they've got the ball, Decore does so much work that people don't even realise. He covers so much space, he pressures players, he turns the ball over, and he just does a lot of the dirty work Decore does in the middle. Where if you played a 4-4-2, would your striker do as much as Decore does to help your centre midfielders? I don't think he
No,
would.
I think what we were talking about before with Ghana, Ghana Gay, and being, is he a high presser or whatever? That's what Decore does a lot of. He's usually the one who would sort of go in between the full back and the other centre back, just try and force them into a bit of a cul-de-sac. So he tends to press obviously further up the pitch as well, and he's quite good at winning the ball back on occasion, to be fair. So he is
And he's
important.
good at the flick-ons as well. The flick-ons
Yeah,
that
he
Calvert-Lewin,
is.
that's a new thing. Calvert-Lewin up to him, flick it on, Decore runs past.
Yeah,
And he starts the hunt as well. Decore starts the hunt.
yeah,
The
yeah,
first
yeah,
player to go and start the press, everyone follows him. Decore goes, everyone follows him. He leads
yeah.
that press. Do you know what I mean? So he goes.
Well, you'll notice, I think I've noticed a few times as well, is that DCL won't necessarily be involved in that press because he wants to be free when we actually win the ball. Do you know what I mean? So he kind of
Yeah.
leaves Decore to do that chasing down, to do that dog work, if you like. And then when they
They
do
are.
actually get the ball back off the press, DCL's free to take advantage of it. It'd be interesting to see if that happens again tomorrow.
I do like the sync. I really do like what these players do together because you think to yourself, if Garner and Onana plays, that there is a click with Decore in front of him, it works. And the good thing is if James Garner wants to play in the number 10, which he sometimes ends up in, if he goes up higher for the press, which we do see, if James Garner turns the ball over high, like he does, Decore can sit in because he's played that position a lot, so he can cover. So there's a nice combination there where if Onana and Garner played, if one of them decided to push up and support Calvert-Lewin, Decore just needs to fill in, and it helps. And I don't feel that a striker would do that as good as Decore could do that. That's just how I feel about that. So I'm liking Decore at the minute. That he's been the topic of Toffee Bluecast tonight, Decore. So well done for getting the shout out on Toffee Bluecast
But
now.
I also get the argument if Decore was ill, that you could kind of see Beto doing that Decore job because he done half love a chase down as Beto. It's about whether he's got the legs to do it for a long period. So that would be interesting.
They will click. It's just unlucky that when Beto played with Calvert-Lewin, Beto come on in a game we was losing, and it was just hard for Beto to get into. And Beto and Calvert-Lewin was arguing, and it was a really bad game to put Beto in as a two-striker thing because we was losing. It was forced. We was rushing. We couldn't get the ball up to him. And a lot of people thought that it didn't work because it was so forced with the way we did it towards the end of the game. I do believe if you started them, it'd be better. It'd click more. We can't say that doesn't work because putting them on at the end, we don't know. It's still a combination that could work. Right, we are down to the last thing of the Toffee Bluecast show. Score predictions, everybody. So the way we do it, there's a few on, by the way, like and subscribe. The way we do it is we want your score and we want your goal scorers. I know that's a mission if you're going big scores, but we want your score and your goal scorers because what we do is we're sad like this. We always look back and say who got it right, who got it wrong. So it's a bit of fun. It's like a free accolade, you know what I mean, or a free build your bet here, but you don't win nothing. But it's just a bit of fun. So we want your score and your goal scorers. I ain't thought of mine, Paul, so I'm going to send you first. I'm going to put you on the pitch first here, mate.
Yeah, I don't.
Let's get us on the screen.
Yeah, I don't usually see us and Palace at their place being a high-scoring game. Usually, I'm not that I'm right at all because we had some shockers. I think we lost 3-1 away there was it 3-1 away last season? Might have been wrong. Can't remember. Might have been the season before, but I don't see a massive amount of goals. I could see us getting a 1-0, to be fair. I think we could defend well. I think we overcome their defence, and I don't think they, at the moment, seem to have a lot going forward. So I would say 1-0. I'm going to say 1-0 win.
1-0. We've got some crazy
Score-wise,
scores coming in.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go 1-0, and I'm going to go Jack Harrison for the goal.
1-0, Jack Harrison. Paul has gone for. There is another. I've seen scores coming in, so Paul's gone
Wonder what
for
the
it
odds
here.
are on that. Wonder what the odds are on that. About 30, 40 to 1. Odds used to be far better. The odds used to be fantastic, but they're not so much nowadays.
We're not even 2-1 to win, so we must be getting better.
Okay.
No, we're just over even. No, we're not even. I think we're just under 2-1 to win Everton.
I'll tell you. Palace are like 11 to 8 and 7 to 5. We're slightly off. 11 to 5, 21 to 10s. Yeah, 2 to 1s. Not great odds either way, to be fair. I don't think they see either side as being absolutely fantastic against the other.
Do you want me to tell you what my bet is for tomorrow before I tell you what my score prediction is? I'm going to have a bet tomorrow. Right.
Are they different?
Promote betting. My bet, I'm not going score prediction on my bet is for Doucouré for Crystal Palace to get carded, because he just always gets carded. Doucouré for Crystal Palace. I remember when what's his name? Crystal Palace's manager. I forgot his name now. I put him on the
Roy.
Yeah, Roy. How can I forget him? He's been there that long. Bloody hell, I'm losing memory like him. I can remember when Roy come in. Doucouré was on so many yellow cards. Roy says, "I'm not going to play you. We've got to find a way to stop you from getting yellow cards." Doucouré will get a yellow card against us. Not all Doucouré. Doucouré against Doucouré, maybe. That'll confuse the commentators. So he'll get a yellow card, and I'm going for Everton to win tomorrow. That will be my bet. Right. So my score prediction and my goal scorers. I'm going for.
I love this thing you do, by the way.
4-2.
4-2.
4-2.
I was going to say, I like that. I like that thing you do. It's like you're possessed.
I'm seeing the game.
It's like
I'm
you
seeing
do
the
this,
game when I go down, mate.
and then you suddenly
I'm seeing the game.
Score.
I'm seeing the goals that are going in, and I'm seeing who's scoring against us. I've got a crystal ball here underneath the microphone. Now I'm going. Do you know what? I know that we don't concede many, but I do see them scoring. But I think it's because we score that many goals that they will score. I think it'll be 4-2. And the goal scorers that I'm going to go for, I think Calvert-Lewin's going to get a brace, because Eliane has learnt the song for Calvert-Lewin. She'll sing it on the show if he does. I think Calvert-Lewin will get a brace. I do believe that either Jack Harrison or McNeil, you got it. I can only give one of them one. Jack Harrison, I'm going for. The Calvert-Lewin a brace. Jack Harrison. See, I want Mikalenko to get another one as well, but I can't. This is a random one. I think Dan Juma's going to come on and get one to boost him up a little bit. I think he'll come on. I ain't got him in my team, so I think Dan Juma will come on and he'll get one as well. That'll be the 4. The 2 for them, I think that Edouard will get one. He was quite good for Celtic, wasn't he? And it wouldn't surprise me if freaking... I hate him if he scores, but the old lad, what's his name on the wing?
Ayew,
yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Ayew. He just would, wouldn't he? I don't think he's anything special, but he just would score against us, wouldn't he? So that's my 4-2, by the way. And I think I'm going to get this right. You reckon you're going to get good odds on yours? What about 4-2 and 6 goal scorers right here?
Well, if that happens and we're not first on match of the day, then there's something wrong, isn't there? Would you like to know?
If that did happen, though, Paul, if it was 4-2 and all of my goal scorers come in, I'd feel like I didn't put my lottery on. I would feel the exact feeling like I didn't put my lottery on, because that'd be like 4-2 and all the goal scorers would be 5,000 to 1. Easy.
I think you're giving the bookies far too much credit there, to be honest.
To pick every single goal scorer. I'm going to put it in later, and I'll let you know. I'll comment it on the channel.
Yeah, see what happens.
What was you just going to say? Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, do you want to know who the officials are for our game tomorrow? Well, the referee Sam Barrett, don't know. However, the fourth official is Anthony Taylor, and VAR is Andy Madley. So QVAR tomorrow, by the looks of it. Should we find out some other people's? Oh, go on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll put it on now. I was just going to ask you before. There's two versions. There's a version of Mikel Arteta, where Mikel Arteta's come out and completely gone for the referees. And there's a Spurs manager that's gone and said, I've been in the game a long time. It goes for you. It don't go for you. Just, it is what it is. I just think that with the way the referees are against us now, we can't leave it to chance with referees, and we've just got to make sure we're miles better than it coming down to the referee. That's the way I think now. We know referees are against us, and I just think that offside, just make sure you're onside. Just pay that little bit more of attention to being onside. Yellow cards, don't give him the option. We've got to play like referees are against us now. That's the way I think. I think we've got to play like they're against you. It's true though, isn't it? You can do that. Like offside, don't leave it so close. Make sure you're on. Sometimes we don't need to anyway, so make sure you're onside. And like I say, with cards and stuff like that, be a bit more sensible. Keep your head switched on.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, definitely. Right, scores. I don't know whether Emma's changed her mind on this, but she said neither will want possession, 0-0 all day. It's very true. Looking at some of the scores that both teams have had.
I hope she's not right.
Well, otherwise you're 5,000.
I've been waiting all night.
Oh,
she's been right on a few. Don't be right on that score.
Oh, don't not again. Like she knows what
you've got to put your scores. You've got to put what you feel.
Apologise for my Max Headroom impression. I don't know what's going on tonight. Everton do 2-0 with DCL and Messi to seal it. That'd be good last minute. Stephanie was on before. She had to go, but she says 1-0 for us, actually. Didn't give a scorer.
But I'm sure she thinks Pickford, I'll take that.
Maybe she thinks Pickford's going to score. You know what? I can see Pickford scoring somehow, in some way. It just wouldn't surprise me. He's that kind of guy that would just fall for him. Peter McCann says 2-1 win again. Yeah, win again. So we're all feeling a little bit more positive than
what was Paul Castle's? That was a mad one, that was, wasn't it? Where is it?
I'm rolling down. Oh yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put that. No, go on, carry
on. He actually says DCL and McNeil. Blues has gone 1-1. McNeil and Eze.
Blues has gone safe. He ain't put his chips down, has he? He's kept him close to him. He's kept him close to him on this one. He wants to win.
3-0 DCL hat trick. Love Eugene's positivity. Why not? As good as any. This is my girl here. Never erring. Always positive. 3-2, she says, Everton. She knows what she's talking about.
That's the staying up game, isn't it, all over again? I hope it's not the same order as that. Don't be a comeback from 2-0.
Yeah, don't be that. Don't want that. Emma's slightly changed. She's gone 1-0 Tarks now. She's feeling the Tarkovsky.
See what I mean? This is what Top Bluecast does to you, Emma. We build you back up. We give you the confidence. We inject the confidence into the Everton fans.
Before a show podcast this is what the Blues said.
Paul Caswell, by the way, Paul Caswell, if you're on the channel and you haven't been on the channel before, I would just love to. I'd love to spend a whole week with Paul Caswell. It would be the best week ever because he's the most positive person in the world.
Yeah.
So you tell me score now what it is.
This is why he's not joking. 6-1 to us. He reckons they'll score with Edouard. And then DCL2, Onana, McNeil, Harrison, and Beto as well.
And he is not joking. Paul Caswell really does feel that. And I hope it is that now. I hope he's right. Well, I've said 4-2, so it's not much different, is it? You just get one more or
No.
2 more goals to us and took one away
I
from
actually,
them.
do you ever see on Twitter sort of Everton archive or on this day, Everton or something like that? There was we won. It was this week. This week, however many years ago, when Lineker was playing, we won 6-1 away at Arsenal. So that would be it. That would be,
This is going to be Paul Statman. He's the stat man. He's a stat man. Yeah, Paul's granddad, by the way, he's probably singing Statman with us now. With the way Paul was going for it, then he's a stat man.
Well, actually, they're in the other room probably watching. So
yeah,
Tazul went tight 1-0 for us. James Garner hat-trick, by the way, for that 3-2. That'd be awesome. James Garner hat-trick, that'd be amazing.
I'll take that. Put that in my basket.
Emma's given another suggestion. She thinks 1-1. Michael Keane will get both.
You know what? Take it back. Take it back. Take that back. Take that back. This is an interesting one. The Blues has just said, by the way, Toffee Blue Cash is just like an Everton pub where we get together before the game and after the game. And that's all we do. Your comments are very important to us. The Blues has said, and people in the comments now, and I'll ask you, Paul, this is an interesting way to end the show. What do you think if Pickford, because Pickford wanted to go up in the derby, he asked Dyche and he goes, Pickford did this, he goes, like that is,
yeah.
And Dyche was like, no. But Pickford, if he scored, which he could do, I could see it happening. He could probably score from a goal kick like Howard, but no, I'm saying he goes up and scores an header. The so-called T-Rex probably would score an header. He'd show him how it's done. If Pickford goes up and scores, what's his celebration? This is what the Blues has said. He's got it somewhere in the comments.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, it would. I don't know. I can't even imagine it, to be honest.
I reckon
the arrogance just would be spilling out of him. It'd be brilliant. I actually think Pickford would be half decent on set pieces, to be honest. I think he'd be better than a few of the players who take him now. I think he could.
Let him take a penalty, please. I want to see a celebration.
I think Pickford is capable of being like another Chilave. Chilave was a keeper for Paraguay. Scored about 60 goals in his career. Amazing free kicks. Scored a few from the halfway line. Went up for headers and stuff. Bang! You could just see Pickford being one of those players, to be fair. Because he plays in our league, there's never a chance he's actually going to do it.
The Blues has just said he is a nutter, and I do believe if Pickford went up, he has to go up, so he must think he's going to score. And if Pickford, I just want to see that. That is my mission as an Everton fan now, is to see Pickford score. And if I do get to meet Decore, I'm going to ask Decore and Sean Dyche to say, please, can Pickford take a penalty so we can see the celebration? If that does happen, I will have the word the Blues. I will say, get Pickford on a penalty just to let us see his celebration, because that had just. Pickford's celebration on a penalty would be on all Everton T-shirts, all Everton cups, and us Everton fans would treasure the Pickford celebration after scoring for like the rest of our life. So please make Pickford score. Oh,
that'll be, yeah.
Wake up! Pinch yourself. People falling asleep on this channel. It's like dangerous, that isn't it? It has to be one, doesn't they? There has to be one. The Blues is laughing his head off. Somebody has a crush on Pickford on Toffee Blue Cast. He's a winker. He's a winker. He does his winks, doesn't he, when he does good stuff. Jordan Pickford. Right. On that note.
On that
amazing note, we'll let you go. I hope you're ready for the game. I can't wait. I'm really excited, to be fair. I'm going to have a nice meal, get myself ready. and I'm going to be ready for this game. We can do it. One thing I will say is that this game's massive on pushing you up the table. This just sounds stupid, but it's massive on pushing you up the table and starting our run on moving away from a relegation battle. Or it can put you back in and start to think you're in a bit of trouble. It literally is that sort of game. If you look at where we are in the league, a win, if you look around the table, does wonders for us this game. So let's try and get a win on the board this game, because we should have got one last game. Let's get the win. Let's do this. The Blues, see you later. Everyone else, see you later. I'll put the amazing banner on with the music. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Get on it. Let's get to the 450. Let's get this music on. Everyone loves this song. I feel like I found the proper trailer for Toffee Bluecast here. Jamie loves it. Everyone sings it. Aliona sings it. Chloe sings it. It's just smooth. And you've got the Everton fans. New stadium's looking good, by the way.
It's looking very good, actually. There's some brilliant videos of it. Brilliant videos of the guys who did that. Well done. It looks superb. It really does.
We're gonna be so emotional when we're in that new stadium. When we're in our seats and we're there. I'll take my family, you'll take your family, and we'll be in the new stadium. It'll be sad to leave the old lady as well, but the new stadium's looking very, very special. We love being able to. See you later.
But if you don't want to tell